Well, I'm coming into El Paso now. After 500 miles on I-10 through very few signs of civilization, this is our first real glimpse at civilization. Although, that might be an overstatement. I need my favorite motovlogger, Tim Kreitz, to come do a motovlog for El Paso to help me see the interesting things about El Paso. Because for me, all I see in El Paso is brown, brown, brown. Everywhere I look, brown. And it's incredibly crowded and congested. Now, I'll have to admit, in all fairness, I haven't been off I-10 through El Paso, so it's probably not the best judge of the city. And I'm sure it has some very charming aspects to it, but it's not apparent to me as I drive through the city. Now, one interesting thing about El Paso is Barnett Harley-Davidson, who at least one point used to be the largest Harley-Davidson dealer in the country. I don't know if they still are, but it's where you go if you want to get a Harley t-shirt. The billboard says they have 100,000 of them. And a huge showroom full of Harleys. And then, of course, they have a street called Lee Trevino Drive, because this is where Lee Trevino, the great golfer, is from. That's pretty cool. I can't turn my head for too long in this traffic, but on my left, in the very near distance, is Mexico. It's that close. And there's the Generic Men's Club. Very creative. Also, El Paso is a pretty good place to go if you want to get a pair of cowboy boots. They got the Tony Lama factory here. You can get a cowboy hat, you can get cowboy belts. You get a lot of cowboy stuff here. There's the famous Barnett Harley-Davidson, world's largest Harley-Davidson. There it is. You know, I spent a couple of months in the Philippines when I was working for Chase Bank, and you go into these huge outdoor shopping areas where you just have tables and tents, and they would sell everything, food, you just name it, and it would go on forever and ever. And it was totally disorganized. Well, not totally disorganized, but it was just kind of haphazard. And riding through El Paso reminds me of that. It's like a huge shopping bazaar. Everybody's on the side of the road, figuratively, waving their hand saying, "Come in here and buy something. I've got something you'll love." Little Lynn's Chinese restaurant in El Paso. That's where you want to go to get a good Chinese meal. So now off to your left, we're getting pretty close to Mexico. A lot of it's obscured by all the shops along the way here. But when we get down the road a little bit, you'll be able to see it more clearly. There's a better view of it. That's Juarez, Mexico. And you probably heard a lot about Juarez. It's this area I'm riding through right now is one of the centers of all the controversy that's going on in the country about our illegal immigrants, because this is where a lot of them come from. It used to be a great weekend trip would be to go over to Juarez and go shopping. You could just walk across the border for the most part and having a nice dinner in Mexico was a really cool thing to do. It's probably not the smartest thing to do now. Unfortunately, the crime and the drug wars and many innocent people have been killed over there and just caught in the crossfire. There have even been reports of bullets coming across the border. Yeah, I don't know whether it's on purpose or accidentally, but that's how close it is. See, there it is, Juarez, Mexico, 1 mile. And Fort Bliss is also here. It's a big Army fort. And there's downtown El Paso, dominated by Wells Fargo. Oh, and there's Chase. Looks like Wells Fargo got the biggest sign. It is nice the way they decorate their bridges, though. I like that. So now we get a pretty good view of Juarez, Mexico. Off to the left, densely populated, all those houses on the hillsides. A stone's throw from the U.S. or for us to Mexico. It's easy to see by just looking to your left and to your right why they might want to come over here. And some of them brave incredible hardship in order to get here. So that's our little trip through El Paso. Actually, you see a border wall down there. Not much of one. So now we're on to Las Cruces, probably a half hour. I'm going to check into the Hotel Encanto and hope to have a nice evening with all my beautiful grandchildren. I'm excited about seeing them. So stick around, I'll be back.